Hi everyone, my name is Arthur, and on this video, I will be talking about procedural generated dungeons in video games, how they work, the different way one would go about creating one, and how to write a basic algorithm for building one. So, for this tutorial, we will be working mostly with Unity 3D, but the basic principles can be applied to any engine or any programming language, and they can even be expanded to generate more complex 3D dungeons. Okay, before we start, what exactly are dungeons in video games, right? Dungeons are nothing more than a collection of rooms uh, connected by corridors, right? So a random dungeon would be a random number of rooms of different sizes located on different places throughout the map, and these rooms are connected in some way through a series of corridors. And there are two main ways one could build procedure generated dungeons, right? So you could start by creating a bunch of rooms in different places and connecting them. Um, or you could start by creating the corridors and uh, generate rooms at specific places or random places in those corridors. Um, the the main algorithm we'll be using today is random walk, uh, and we will be using the second method. So we'll be generating corridors first, but yeah, there's also the binary space partitioning algorithm, which is popular to create procedure-generated dungeons. Binary space partitioning is usually used for the first method, sorry, when you would create rooms first, but that one can be a little more complicated, so we may talk about it in a different video. So, um, what is the random walk algorithm? The basic idea of the random walk algorithm, and I'll just show you an example. So let's say you have, as soon as Unity decides to, um, so let's assume you have a grid, um, and you have this map here, this blank map. You would start by setting a start position, so let's say the center, and then the random walk would select one direction for from the, the starting position and would walk one space in that direction. And it would do this a specific amount of times, right? So it would keep doing it until it ran out of steps. And in this way, he would eventually generate a random room. So this is the random walk. So this is how you would generate a single room. Um, the corridor is is the same algorithm, although we're going to modify it a bit. So instead of moving a single space when creating a corridor, we're going to move a specific amount, right? So we're starting here, we would move um, a handful of times, and then we'd change direction, move a handful of times, change direction again, and keep doing that until we um, the algorithm stops, right? So let's take a look at that algorithm. So first, again, the procedural generated algorithms, simple random walk, it's pretty straightforward. Um, you have a hash set of vector to int, basically just the positions. You receive a starting position and the amount of steps the algorithm will take, and you add the starting position to the pool. You set the previous position to be the start position, and you iterate um, a number of times it's equals to the number of steps that you want to take. And for each iteration, um, the new position equals the previous position plus a random cardinal direction. So in this case, we're going up, down, left, and right, and selecting a random position from the cardinal directions. And then we're going to add this to the hash set and set the previous position to be the new position and do this until the loop is complete. And so when we're going to generate a dungeon, um, we have this run procedure generator generation, sorry, that will be triggered when we press a button. Uh, and our floor positions will be our random run walk. And here we have the walk length and the number of iterations. So basically, we'll be running this simple rand walk with the number of steps uh, a set amount of times, right? So we're not only just gonna do it once, we're gonna do it multiple times, starting from the same uh, position. Sorry, it's going to start from the start position, and then it's going to select a random position on the current floor position, and then it's going to start from that. So every time it does, it's going to start from a new place in the map. And yes, and once you do this, let's see the results. So here we have our simple random walk dungeon generator. Let's see first with just a single iteration with 10 steps, and let's hit Unity is not helping today. Yes. So here we have a blank grid and let's generate. So this is generating a very simple room uh, with a random walk length of 10. So let's do 10 iterations with 10 steps. So now it's going to do one of these, and then after it does the 10 steps, it's going to select a random position within the floor and do another 10, and it's going to keep doing that, and the room is going to keep getting bigger. So now look at this. We have a bigger room that can be of completely random shapes, and they're all interconnected, and there's no point in the room that is separated from the rest because again it's walking, so the algorithm um, always connects in some way, right? So we can also compare. So instead of starting at a random position, we can say no, always starts from the center, and this way we have a more centralized, like more concise shape. Um, both are valid in their own way. Depends on what kind of dungeon you want, and yeah. So this is the random walk algorithm for procedure generated dungeons. Um, Again, we can easily modify this to make corridors. Uh, on the next video, I will show you how to modify this to make a corridor and how to create these kinds of rooms alongside those corridors. And thanks for watching, and see you in the next.